Coming up on Cardinals Insider, he forced his way onto the big league roster this spring. Get to know rookie Andre Pallante.
Probably sounds repetitive, everyone kind of says the same thing. It's everything I've been dreaming about since I was a kid, everything I've worked for.
Plus,
throw coming in! Oh my goodness!
Dylan Carlson may have already made the throw of the year. Hear more about this exceptional putout. And later,
you can't do it without hard work. And, when I look back at everything that I accomplished, that's one of the things that I'm the most proud of.
Rick Ankiel knows a thing about great throws, too. He stops by the Insider desk to talk about his career. Those stories and more this week on Cardinals Insider. Hello, and welcome to Cardinals Insider. I'm Ozzie Smith. Andre Pallante turned a great Arizona Fall League into a big league camp invite. He pitched most of last season at Double-A with only a short stay in Memphis. But that didn't prevent him from breaking camp with the big league club. Let's get to know the California native in this week's Player Profile.
And now a major league debut for Andre Pallante. This guy has got really good stuff, as we saw in spring training. And his first pitch here in the big leagues.
Probably sounds repetitive, everyone kind of says the same thing. It's everything I've been dreaming about since I was a kid, everything I've worked for. It's awesome, especially being on a team that's a winning team. We won a lot of games so far, so the atmosphere is always really good. And everyone knows, Pujols, Yachty, Wainwright, all those guys, everyone knows who they are. They've been awesome. And then more importantly, the guys who aren't them have also been awesome to me, and that's really important because that's something that the whole organization as a whole is just really good with helping younger players come up. They're rooting for you to succeed, and they're giving you tips and everything they can to help you become the best player you can be. I've learned a lot from Hudson. I think Hudson's helped me a lot. He came and rehabbed with us in Double-A, and I was able to talk to him back then, and he kind of helped me through some more mental side of what am I focusing on when I'm on the mound.
Here's an 0-2 pitch by Pallante. Swing and a miss.
There's always that down the back of your head, am I good enough to pitch at the major league level? And after having some innings here and coming out, I think I've kind of proven myself that I can do that, and hopefully I keep that confidence going. The crowds have gotten a little bit bigger for me. I think the biggest crowd I'd pitch in prior to spring training was I think 4,000 or 5,000 people, and then spring training was the biggest, and now pitching here has been the biggest. It's a lot more exciting when there's people watching and there's people cheering for you.
Number 53, Andre Pallante.
I love to compete. I think baseball is one of the most competitive games you can have, especially because how often you compete. You play every day. You don't play once a week. And then Cardinals have been a competitive franchise since they've been made. So being able a team that competes every year, we are held accountable to that. And as an organization, I think every player on this team is very competitive, and that pushes everyone else to compete. And I think that's why the organization has been so good for so long.
On April 27th, Dylan Carlson made an outstanding throw from deep center to nail a runner at third. The throw had shades of Rick Ankiel's famous putout from Colorado in 2008. Here's more on Carlson's effort to make base runners think twice.
And Guillorme sends it out to center. Carlson over his head
and hits off the track and off the wall.
And extra bases for Guillorme.
He's going for 3.
Throw coming in! Oh my goodness! And they're loving it!
Just helping the team win, honestly. Getting a good win there today was huge, and something we'd like to build off for sure.
He's going for 3. The throw into Sosa, the tag. He's out! He's out at third.
Fuera! Fuera! Dylan Carlson para tercera.
Obviously the initial thought off the bat was catch the ball. That didn't happen, and then it turned into a different play. And I knew they were going to be aggressive in that situation, so I just came up throwing for sure.
The play was unreal, obviously. Just an unbelievable throw. Sometimes they just launch it and you just hope it gets there. It's rare for it to be right on line. That's what made that play so special. It's hard to do, but you gotta give Dylan credit. It was a great play.
Unbelievable!
The Mets lost 2 runners on the bases here in the 6th inning.
How about this outfield D?
Carlson looked like a wide receiver trying to catch a pass in the end zone.
Dylan, I can't get over the throw. I'm just gonna Where does it rank for you?
Oh, it's up there for sure. Yeah, I've had one similar before, but didn't have the metrics or anything to prove it. So you know, to do it now with everyone watching was pretty cool.
You know, it's rare to see those. I remember like Cespedes, you know, made one out there one time. You know, a couple of guys, but that was a big time throw.
Holy smokes, what a throw by Dylan Carlson. Shades of Rick Ankiel.
I had a flashback of Rick Ankiel doing that in Colorado, and all I can think about is Ankiel and Troy Gloss, but it wasn't them. It was Dylan Carlson and Edmundo Sosa, and Sosa had the same reaction that Kloss did. He kind of had this jump in the air, giving a lot of credit to Dylan.
Game kind of, you know, just gets you going, and in that situation, I was just trying to make an accurate throw. They were excited. Like I said, I was just happy to contribute and, you know, pick up what he learned in that situation.
Later in the show,
back in the day, back in the early 60s, we had a lot of kids that just didn't get a chance to play baseball at all.
he's changed the game through his work off the field. We profile Ted Savage in just a bit. Rick Ankiel is a fan favorite. He made it to the big leagues twice, once as a pitcher in 1999 and then again as an outfielder in 2007 after the yips made him change positions. Rick sat down with our Brett McMillan to discuss his one-of-a-kind baseball journey.
Always fun to get Cardinal alumni out here at the Insider Desk in left field, and this guy has one of the all-time great stories in the history of the game. It's Rick Ankiel. Rick, let's start off at the moment that I think so many Cardinal fans remember, 2007, your Major League rebirth, second debut, however you want to term it, but just take us through that moment, that home run out right field here at Busch.
To the trees! No, you know, what an incredible ride and journey into, and I, you know, if I would have sat down and I'm going to write a movie script, I couldn't have wrote it any better. To come in, the emotions of that day, even getting here and back to the clubhouse, the high fives, the hugs, the welcome back. Joe Patini at the time had number 24. I called Rip Rowan, who was our clubhouse manager that day, or when they said they were calling me up, and I said, hey, can I have 24? And he said, well, Joe Patini's wearing that. I said, all right, well, then just, I don't care, just as long as my name's on the jersey, it's fine. Got to the clubhouse, seen everybody, the joys, go to my locker, there's number 24. So Joe gave me the number, and I feel like that just started the tone. You know, then as the game goes, I end up hitting that home run, and I remember running around the bases. And as I was rounding first, getting to second, I remember saying to myself, oh my God, that just happened. Like, this is real. It happened. And it's one of those things I've thought about it a lot, but you really can't put it into words to be fair. And it's, you know, it's an epic moment in my life for sure.
And in the order, no hits.
Ankiel out to deep right field. Has a chance to leave the ballpark. It's gone! A three-run shot for Rick Ankiel back in the major leagues. Remarkable. 5-0 St. Louis. Remarkable.
One of my favorite things about that moment, it's one of two times I can remember that Tony La Russa really smiled and kind of broke character in the dugout. 2011 when they won the World Series, and then that moment for you. I know he's an important guy in your life. Just what was it like to share that moment with him? It was almost surreal. You know, I'm rounding the bases, and now I get to Jose Oquendo, who's at third, and it's the high five. I almost wish, when I look back at it, I wish that I would have smiled more, or just let everyone know how I was feeling. But it just, I don't know. It was like not that I was trying to be businesslike, but it just happens fast, right? And it's not like you sit at home the night before and go, what am I going to do if I hit a home run, right? You don't, and or I didn't. And I don't know. I wish I would have been more excited, but to share with everyone, it was Tony, it was all the guys who knew what I went through to get to that moment, right? It felt like we all celebrated it together. And there's times just where you can feel their emotion, where it was real, it was passionate, it was everything
that you would want us to be.
You made the big leagues twice. Most people would just dream of making it once. Is that kind of a badge of honor for you? I'm sure there were moments that were very difficult going through it, but to have that as your story now, what's that mean to you?
A lot, because you can't do it without hard work. And, when I look back at everything that I accomplished, that's one of the things that I'm the most proud of, is the work that went into it. How hard I went after it. And as you said, badge of honor, absolutely. I'll jokingly say it with guys when, they're making a joke about making it once. I'm like, dude, I made it twice at two different positions. I don't want to hear it. So, it's fun.
He's one of the more fun stories in the history of the game of baseball. He's Rick Ankiel. Of course, you can see him on Bally Sports Midwest. He's here signing as we speak as part of a Bud Bash, cardinals.com/Bud Bash to see the 2022 schedule. That's all for right now here at the Insider Desk in left field.
Straight ahead.
And I was with the Cardinals, and we decided to start RBI, Reviving Baseball in the City.
He's played a big role in the Cardinals' charitable endeavors over the years. Learn all about Ted Savage's legacy after the break. Ted Savage grew up just across the river in East St. Louis, Illinois. Only about a third of his playing career was with the Cardinals, but he still holds an important place in Cardinals history.
Ted Savage grew up not far from Busch Stadium in East St. Louis. According to scouts who saw him play at a young age, a young Ted Savage had the makings of Jackie Robinson or Willie Mays. He spent nearly 3 of his 9 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals, including a World Series championship in 1967. But it's what he did after his career that had an exceptional impact. In 1987, he was hired by the Cardinals as Director of Target Marketing, and never forgetting where he came from, was an early supporter of MLB's Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities, or RBI program, as well as Cardinals Care's Redbird Rookies, both of which served to bring baseball to underserved communities. He was also instrumental in setting up the golf tournament that now bears his name.
Back in the day, back in the early 60s, we had a lot of kids that just didn't get a chance to play baseball at all. And so I hooked up with Matthews Dickens Boys Club, and I was with the Cardinals, and we decided to start RBI, Reviving Baseball in the City. And man, these kids started coming out like crazy, but I had to literally go into mom and dad's homes and say, look, you got 3 or 4 kids here. I want them to come and play, and lo and behold, looked up and they still coming out to play.
Over the past 35 years, Ted Savage has helped raise over $500,000 for Cardinals Care through the Ted Savage RBI Golf Classic, which makes him proof that the impact a player has on the game can extend far beyond their playing career. For Cardinals Insider, I'm Travis Hawkins.
Busch Stadium is a big place. You can take a tour of the building, but there's no way to see everything on a single walkthrough. So we thought we'd take you behind the scenes with mini tours of the areas not often seen by the public. And this week, we head to the home TV booth where Emily Stevens is our guide.
Our Cardinal broadcasters need the best view of the field in order to call a game, and this room definitely has it. Not a lot of fans get to come up here. We are inside the TV broadcast booth inside Busch Stadium. The Bally Sports Midwest booth is located right below the press level, next to the Cardinals radio booth and the scoreboard control room. The broadcast booth is positioned directly behind home plate. Dan McLaughlin has been the Cardinals' primary play-by-play voice for 23 seasons. He's a St. Louis native and calls the games alongside game analyst and former Cardinal Jim Edmonds. A lot of people don't know this, but Dan and Jim begin their workday well before they call the first pitch of the game. This starts with background research on the players long before they make the trip to the ballpark. Jim Hayes also works with the Cardinal broadcasters and provides pregame, postgame, and live in-game coverage. Before every game, Jim will go to the field to gather pregame interviews with players, the manager, and other club officials. Before each game, Danny Mac sits at a table in the booth and assembles his scorecard book. He also has both team rosters, starting lineups, and media guides handy, so he can refer to past plays and games throughout the broadcast. When it's time to shoot the live pregame show, Danny Mac and Jim will stand up in the booth. the camera will shoot them from an angle to show as much of the field in the background as possible. Hope you enjoyed this tour of the Cardinals TV broadcast booth. To find out how you can go behind the scenes in person, visit cardinals.com/tours.
If you want to see Bush in person, head to cardinals.com/tours to learn more and schedule your visit. It's a great activity for lifelong fans and first-time visitors alike. We hope to see you soon, but for now, stay put because there's more Cardinals Insider after the break. Did you know that Cardinals Insider is one of 2 TV shows produced by the Cardinals? Cardinals Kids, featuring Brad Thompson and Fred Bird, airs all summer long on the club's cable partner, Bally Sports Midwest. We went behind the scenes to see how Cardinals Kids connects young fans to the game.
Cardinals Kids is Fred Bird, myself, Professor U-Man, and it's just a fun show. It's a fun show for kids, getting them into Cardinal baseball, keeping them in Cardinal baseball, and just teaching that the game is fun and we have fun. Coming to the ballpark is fun. These are going to be fans forever. So if we can hook them early with Cardinals Kids and then they grow up and their kids are watching it, that's the plan. But it's just a fun show to get kids excited about Cardinal baseball.
So every show, there's 26 shows every year, one every week from April through September during the regular baseball season. And every show has a different theme. So one week, like this week, Fred Bird wants to be an astronaut. Sometimes it's they have a mystery going on in the stadium. They find a treasure map and they're hunting for treasure throughout the stadium. Every show has a different theme and it's just broken up into like 5 segments. And it always concludes in a positive way at the end.
So the show has been going on 20 years now. I'm in my 5th year of doing this show. Andy Bennis took care of this show for the first 15 years. He did a fantastic job. I'm trying to fill his shoes, but I absolutely love it. Just have fun with Fred Bird, who's like having another child, which, everybody that goes to the ballpark knows his antics. Getting the opportunity to do something, hang out with Fred Bird, and knowing that families are laughing and having a good time, that's what does it for me.
Batting practice is an important ritual. It allows players to get the feel of how the ballpark plays and to work on different elements of their game. But that doesn't mean it can't be fun too. Earlier this year, Wayno and Ollie played closest to the base during BP in Cincinnati, and our cameras were there to capture it. When we return, I'm answering one of your questions. It's Ask Ozzie, and it's up next. It's time for this week's Ask Ozzie. Aaron in Fulton, Missouri asks, was there a pitcher that you could never get the best of? Yes, there was a pitcher that I never got, well, a lot of pitchers I didn't get the best of, but there was one guy that I hit. He didn't strike me out a lot, but I could never get hits against him. A guy by the name of Dave Palmer, who pitched for the Montreal Expos. The guy was very crafty, and of course this was at a period in time in my career where I was learning to hit. And the times that I did hit him hard, it was always right at somebody. So David Palmer would be that guy. Well, I felt we say had his number. I don't know if I ever had anybody's number, but guys that threw hard, that didn't change speeds a lot, were a lot easier to hit. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of thought process behind a guy who throws hard. You know, it's just getting your timing. So I always had more success against guys who were just trying to power the ball by me with their fastball, as opposed to guys who could change speeds. Thanks for the question, Aaron. If you want to submit a question, head on over to cardinals.com/insider and click the Ask Ozzie tab. But for now, stay with us. There's more Cardinals Insider after the break. On April 28th, the Cardinals reached a historic milestone. The club welcomed its 50 millionth regular season fan to Busch Stadium. 16 years is the fastest any ballpark has ever hosted 50 million spectators. Here's more on the achievement and how the club marked the occasion.
Congratulations, everybody! We now have 50 million fans that have come through the turnstiles at Busch Stadium. You're a part of it. You're a part of it. You're a part of it. Everybody's a part of it. If you've ever come to a game in your life and you're here tonight, congratulations. 50 million fans, and we're the fastest to do it in all of baseball. Give yourselves a big round of applause, everybody! This is awesome. What's your name?
Calvin.
Kelvin, where are you from?
From Southern Illinois, but I live
All right, so we've had 50 million fans come through the turnstiles. How many times have you come through the turnstiles in your lifetime?
Probably a few hundred. This is my third time this week.
This is his third time this week. This is the type of guy that needs a $50 gift card. Congratulations. That's what it's all about. What's your name, buddy?
Max.
Max, how old are you?
9.
9? What's 9 minus 4?
What?
What is 9 minus 4?
5.
5? We have 50 million fans that have come through. There you go, Alex. A $50 gift card for you. Look right here and say, go Cardinals.
Go Cardinals.
Say, we're the greatest fans in baseball.
We're the greatest fans in baseball.
Yeah, all 50 million of us that have come through the turnstiles. Go Cardinals, go!
That's it for this episode. You can always catch us online at cardinals.com/insider. Plus, full episodes are available on YouTube. And for everyone involved with the show, I'm Ozzie Smith, and we'll see you next week.